Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Hi, everybody.
So, I am your host, McManhattan, the Scene Snob, and of course, joined as always by the Madman, Mr. Casey Plot.
Why, thank you, Mick. You're always so kind with that fantastic introduction. It's glorious to see you, as always, my friend, on this wonderful Tuesday, and it's glorious to see all of you people virtually, unless you're not here and because it's 7 hours later and you're listening to it because it's a podcast, and you can do that.
Well,
and hello to you now.
Yeah, you can always watch or listen to us at any time on our YouTube channel or any podcast platform. That is very true. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ's here. AJ, what's going on, buddy? How you
Howdy,
doing?
AJ.
Everybody,
man, I'm stoked. You seem kind of low energy. You okay, buddy?
I am not low energy.
All
I'm
right.
relaxed energy tonight.
A little chill energy. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging it. Like I was like, I'm gonna go a little chill in this because I think some of the stuff we talk about might get me a little riled.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd come in like smooth. I'm like, all right, just chilling. I can't find my sunglasses right now.
I like it. You got a nice buttery effect going. It's nice. It's fancy. It suits you, my friend.
Now I'm getting mad. I can't find my sunglasses.
That was a quick turn. Unfortunately. And it was great that it worked out as well as it did for as long as it did.
It did, yeah. Only a little bit. I got there, though. Good evening, gentlemen. It's wonderful to see you again. John Was, thank you, sir.
Hello, John.
And Radar's here. What's going on?
Radar, pleasure to see you.
Perfect time to make, not an announcement. Everybody knows who watches or listens to the show. We are official representatives of Carolina Fear Fest. We're so excited to be back this year. We had a great time last year. Hopefully you guys can make it out. Tickets are on sale now. And then come see us. Come hang out with us. I know there's lots of celebrities and cool vendors and awesome things to do, but it's us.
Yeah, no, you're going to see lots of vendors. You're going to be able to go spend a boatload of money and then come hang out with us and then go maybe hang out with some stars like, I don't know, Clint Howard, maybe.
Or
DJ Qualls. And then you'll come back and hang out with us and then go get some food and then come back and hang out with us. So you got options.
Which was so much fun, and thank you to them. Thank you to everybody who runs the Carolina Fear Fest. And I was on Horror with Sir Sturdy last night. He did a show special for Betty White. We discussed Lake Placid, but they gave me the Clint Howard announcement early before they made the announcement, and it was an exclusive on their show. And I think for the next few months, I'm kind of getting booked on different shows. I will be allowed to offer up some exclusives, and not just me. Casey will be there for some.
I was going to say, let's. I'm glad the more important half is really getting the love. It's cool.
No. The only one who's really getting the true love is Carolina Fear Fest, and that's what's important.
Darn tootin', because we love it. I'm so happy to be part of them again, and really excited for this year.
Oh, absolutely. And Radar says, who we met there. Can't wait to hang out with you guys again. We're gonna have a great time, man. Definitely. We can't wait to see you, and we're gonna ball out to some horror. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be exciting, and you're gonna be not feeling terrible. So I'm very excited.
You have no idea how
the road trip is gonna be so much better this time.
Oh my God. Yeah, no staghorn kidney stone to keep me down. Ain't gonna happen. Knock on wood.
Not this time.
Knock on wood. I'm taking my medicine. So, we're here, and we figured we'd kind of get into it a little bit, but I did want to, before we get started, just kind of talk about how things are going, my friend. It's been a week. How you doing?
Things are going well, man. I got over the flu, so finally clear of that. So just spent the last couple of days cleaning and disinfecting the house. So today was more of, hey, I'm going to do some cooking and just kind of hang out, and actually took a nice, delightful nap. So it's been great. Back to the grind tomorrow. So, hooray.
Yeah, that's legit. Get right back into it. Casey made a new friend, and he is going to hang out with him tomorrow.
I did. Tomorrow night after work, I'll be going to an AEW event, which I'm very excited for. I do love wrestling.
He's going to go with a friend of his, and guess who it's not?
It's not you. It's not you. I actually do have friends outside of you, outside of the box machine, this little screen. There are a few people who can stand me in a room for longer than 20 minutes. So those people I hang out with.
See, that's what I think it is. I think it's all of our other friends can stand us for 20 minutes, and that's why we're friends, because we could stand each other for significantly longer.
That's really what it is. That's the degree of friendship, is how long can you actually hang out with a human being. And I don't know that you and I have really reached our breaking point yet.
No, well, knock on wood, not to say yet. I mean, if we haven't already, I feel like it'd be a
Yeah,
tough
no,
one.
if we've already made it through this far, buddy, we're through the forest. The
Yeah.
woods are done. We're cruising.
I feel like we've beaten up Robin Hood and taken all of his money and then just crossed the forest perfectly.
Yeah, they ain't so merry no more.
Got your Sherwood Forest right here.
Hey.
So we did discuss it. I want to throw this out there. A man should have no more friends than he's allowed to have in his wedding party.
Which is something that a younger me would have scoffed at and found disgusting.
Me
Because
too.
there was a point when I legitimately was like, every single person I've met is friend. So how could you ever deny all the friends? Just have more friends. And I'm all about having a giant group of friends and people I consider friends.
Yeah.
But you're right. You should have best friends that equate how many people would make it in your wedding party, which has just happened over time naturally now. You know, other people have kids, get married, everyone moves on to a different thing, different job opportunities. You never know, following dreams. So people move on, and that happens. But a number of people that you should have in your wedding party, I'm still saying it's 5. I think 5 is plenty. I think that's a good number. I think 4 would definitely be cheaper on the old wallet, if you know what I mean. But 5 is doable.
I think I had 4. Pretty sure I had 4. But that was one where people were kind of arguing for a spot.
Yeah, dude, you had like a draft. It was like a lottery going for like who's going to be where, how many people are you going to have?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't make the cut. It was like, you can come to the wedding though.
Well, that's the whole point of the invite to the wedding. And in fact, now that I think about it, maybe I'll just trim it down to 3. Like, I think 3 would be plenty.
I'm telling you, first off, when it comes to inviting to your wedding, that it should come down to closest friends, and you gotta be fickle about it. People that you want to see and interact with at your wedding, that you know will be fun. Everything outside of that should be like, you should almost be setting yourself up for success. Like, hey, come to my wedding and I'll be able to talk to you about possibly a job down the line or something. It should better your situation on who you invite.
So you're saying that you should actually use this as a vaulting point.
Yes.
Your wedding should not be to party with your old friends from years back, from all the different walks of life, to be like, no, I finally did it. It's finally happening. Like, 'cause that's the way I always treated it. If you got married in your 20s, you invite everybody to go look at this shit. We're gonna party our faces off and look, huh? Right? Crazy.
I am of the belief now, and I thank God I never did. No one should marry in their 20s.
Yeah,
everyone.
I still believe it should be a contract that you renew every 5 years.
And just like driving, everything, just like guns, driving.
You got to re-up, man. You got to decide that, like, nah, we still cool with this? We're still comfortable with this decision. Everyone's all right. Re-sign that paper.
Guess what? Mental health changes, and that goes across the board for everything.
Yeah.
You are not the same person you were married. You or the person you're married to is not the same person after 5 years.
On a cellular level, we are different people every 7 years. Our cells are not the same from what they were 7 years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I still store all of that dead skin.
Is that what's happening?
I do.
Is that what it is?
I don't eat too many tacos. It's the dead cells.
Honestly, this guy, if he just puts on a little lotion, he'd lose like 20 pounds. Gone.
Shut your mouth. All right. So John says, and this is pertinent to CFF, is hopefully the hotel doesn't give your room away. It will not, because the Ramada down in North Carolina is great.
Oh, it was baller. And maybe they'll have the pool open.
Oh, that would be amazing. Remember they were opening it like the day after we were leaving, and I'm like, come on. Like, and the Durham Bulls didn't come back to play in their stadium until like a day after.
Exactly. Well, now look, that wouldn't have mattered because honestly, you were in too much pain. This year, however, we could go to a Durham Bulls game. Just
already started looking up dates.
God, yes, I love you.
I almost want to get down there on Thursday.
I'm in. This is why we're best friends right here. This is it. This is.
I want to go to it. I looked up dates and then watched Bull Durham.
Because it's so good.
It's so good.
It's such
a good movie.
It's a great movie. You get Nuke You get his story, the young up and comer. You see how he finally shuts his mouth and learns, and you watch him grow, the idiot that he is. You watch Kevin Costner's fall, like the playing down. I love it. Who's this guy? I'm the player to be named later. Still one of my favorite intros ever.
Everything about it, the rustic vibe and feel of the Southern, like baseball team that's just like, is kind of good, but not really. It's such a good movie.
It's a local event to go out to. You and I went to some Prince William Cannons and then the Nationals games. Like it's fun to do those little single A, double A ballparks, and it's really neat. And Susan Sarandon's house, like giving into that rustic Southern feel. What a beautiful spot! That's like a dream home.
Way too many candles for that
Way
old
too
house.
Many candles.
Way too many. I get the sexiness vibe. But that's a great love story because they basically meet and it's just about hooking up until they fall in love.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's just a wonderful
story. It's done perfectly. And I love the baseball story. I love the one girl who gets banged by everybody, Millie. I love Millie when she.
Oh my God! Yeah, but then she marries the preacher's son or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my
God.
The
Reverend guy who's like the first baseman.
Tim Robbins is so good in it, though. He's just like, you got a wild arm, but he's like, yeah, but I got a Porsche.
But I got a Porsche.
He breaks the window.
Yes, I heard you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a fucking boat. Oh, such a great line.
Such a good line. Oh man, and I've been fortunate enough to go see a Durham Bulls game. That's why I want you to see one so bad.
I want to so badly. He hit the fucking bull. I think he gets a free steak.
And you know what the funny thing is? Now this is the last time I was there, so I don't know what's there now. I don't know if the bull is still up or not. I hope so. But it does say hit the bull, get a free steak. But the grass actually says hit the grass and get a free salad.
That's hilarious.
I always enjoyed stuff like that. Like that, I don't know. See, I don't want to go visit tons of filming locations. Like there's some stuff I don't like. If you're like, hey, let's go on an Avengers or Sopranos or something like that tour, I'm like, no, I'm good.
A Sopranos tour, really? You already lived it. You grew up there.
That's true. That is true. In fact, one of the tankers they show is behind another tanker that I rappelled down, and I'm like, yeah, that was where I worked.
Or when I watched the Sex and the City tour going on while I was in New York City, and I'm like, this is just walking around New York City. Why are you going on this tour?
And not only that, but there's significantly better movies and TV shows that have been shot in that very location, and they're talking about Sex and the City, and you're like, what? I
mean, I was pretty stoked.
Case was filmed right over there.
Or in Wilmington, North Carolina, I got to stand right where Dawson had his moment in Dawson's Creek season 1, where they do the big spinny camera shot as he's trying to run around and find Joey.
Oh my God!
What?
That's cool. It's cool that you did that. It's just funny and frustrating that you remember that so well.
Absolutely, man. One of the most vivid.
I don't know. I liked Dawson's Creek growing up. I mean, come on. I was a young, good-looking, blonde high school kid who wanted to be a filmmaker. What do you think everyone called me?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. I watched it at the same time. It was one of my Wednesday night shows with my friends Kathy and Katie. That's what we did.
No, really.
Spaghetti night, have spaghetti night, and then go watch that.
What do you think they called me?
What? Oh, Pacey.
No, it was Dickhead.
Oh, is that it? No, I was just going to continue right on. Just let you not have it.
I'm having it. I'll take it. No. But you never wanted. Everybody watched it, but nobody wanted to be called that. You're such a Joey. No. Stop.
I definitely. Well, I mean, I was always more of a Charlotte personally. Isn't that what everyone does? They equate themselves to Sex in the City, or let's do Schitt's Creek. Because sometimes I feel like a David.
You are David. I love that show. I love that show so all day. You can't make fun of that show, though. It's just too good.
It's brilliant. It's a wonderful show. It's not making fun of it. It's loving and cradling.
I can't watch The Office anymore. It's so cringeworthy.
I still enjoy The Office. It's not that great.
Funny.
Parks and Rec, I think, was a step up. I think it's got better seasons.
But there's some things they do in The Office where you're like, "Ooh, that did not go over well. It did not age." And you're like, and I know they were making fun of it at the time, but at the same time, it's like,
Well, Scrubs has a few of those too, man.
Yeah, true.
Scrubs is my number one, and it definitely has some episodes that it's like, ooh, that rough bit, Bill. What are you doing? Like 2002 was a very different time. We were shifting in acceptability versus unacceptability.
You're a huge Scrubs fan. You're a big, I like the show too. We've talked about it many a times. We could probably go a long time talking about shows, but you were always such a huge fan.
Yeah, big fan.
What's one of your favorite scenes from that show?
Actually, it's one of the ones in My TCW when My Tasty Coma Wife, when JD is walking down the hallway and it stops and everything is speeding around him. And he's just talking about feeling alone. And then he heads into the chow hall and everybody is complaining about their significant others. And he just lays into them, just hammers on them like, screw all of you. Like, you're lucky to have people. You have no idea what it's like to be alone and how much more difficult it is. And it is kind of that play that I've always related to that scene. That was one scene that anytime I'm not in a relationship, I'm like, yep. Everyone who's bitching about relationships just sounds like, I'm like, yeah, all right, fine. Must be hard to be with someone you love.
I will tell you, my favorite scene is when Kelso breaks down the door on the girl who's getting a gastric bypass. And Turk is there and he's giving them life. And it's like some of the best life advice ever. And he's just like, he's talking to them. They're both involved, and they're just like, well, what if we're scared or was too hard? And he's like, get over it. Anything worth having in life is too hard. And I was like, damn right, Kelso. That's like the one time like you weren't like a pervy piece of crap. I was like,
I mean, he does really well towards the end. Towards the end of his run, you really kind of understand where Bob Kelso came from. One of my favorite bits of the Bob Kelso was actually when he would step out of as soon as his foot left that hospital, he would start whistling and have a great day.
Yeah.
Because it's like, nope, let it go. Just fucking let it go. You can't take work home with you, especially in that kind of job.
That's legit. So. We got some people joining up with us and want to touch down on their stuff. And guys, sound off, but we will go at it periodically. We're not going to be going through the whole thing because we have some topics to get to. Everyone that got married in their 20s is no longer married. Fair, Radar. That's not 100% true, but I mean, I get it. When I was 35, I got married. She was 22. It's been 7 years, so we can honestly say that we aren't the people we were back then. That's very true. I mean, we never are. And sure, I was gonna make a weird joke, but I don't want to make a weird joke. But it wasn't at John's expense.
It was just a moment of hesitation joke. Where your brain, for one of the first times I've seen in a long time, said, "Don't say it." That doesn't happen.
It wasn't an offensive joke. It was a joke about marriage, and like I was like, but I don't want to come off as like the guy who thinks that because I don't really. So I was like, no, I'm gonna leave it on. It wasn't a John joke, and it wasn't
a Kathleen.
A Kathleen joke. No, it wasn't a personalized joke. It was just about marriage. John's like, make the weird jokes.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I gotta leave that one. I was like, because I don't want to. Go see a Bulls game, but try to see the DBAP. Oh yeah, now I'm there. I was thinking Chicago Bulls. Come on, Radar, get on the. There's something going on. That's the original stadium for the movie. Yes, I know they're not in the original stadium, and I would like to see you to see the original stadium because I watched the game in the original and it was pretty cool.
I know. I'm still jealous as shit.
Oh, that was years ago. I literally just started Insomnia watching.
Hi, Kathleen. That's awesome because it's so good.
Also, hello. Hi, Kathleen. I couldn't watch The Office when it was first broadcast. My boss at the time was too much like Mike. So an HR nightmare, is what you're saying. And had the same Cisco phone on my desk at work. I couldn't stand it then, and I can enjoy it now. That's very fair, very fair. So we got some fun topics tonight. We're going to talk about. We're going to discuss. But I did want to mention, based off of the joke about the hotel room earlier, the haunted hotel is not gone. I'm still working on it. Don't worry, we're getting there.
Yeah, we need to do this.
Yes.
And now we can both do it. So it's way cooler now.
Yeah, I didn't buy a Ouija board for nothing. It's gonna happen, and you're
I
gonna
have
do
two still sitting upstairs. So in my attic,
No, I don't want your haunted Ouija board. I want
I
my
have two
spirit
Ouija
Halloween
boards
Ouija
that
board.
when I moved in here, they were just here. I have not touched them. They remain in the attic. There was literally a bottle of Jose Cuervo and a candle. So I'm leaving all of that there.
Go get it.
I'm not disturbing any of it. No.
Go get it right now. We're gonna do it
Dude.
online. Let's do this live. See
No.
if we get
No, because live it affects me. I'm all alone here in my creepy basement or 250-year-old building. No.
Kathleen, nobody's saying way to go, John, because of the age difference. We're both almost 40-year-old men.
Hi.
None of us are saying way to go, John. You know, we didn't cheer on Jeffrey Epstein or Prince Andrew either.
Yeah.
I had to be. I was going to leave with that one.
Where are you going? Where are you going with that? Maybe you should just pump those brakes there, Mick.
I'm kidding. That's as far as I was going. That's as far as the joke goes. That's it.
No,
Keith is
Kathleen,
watching.
What's
Keith,
up, buddy?
Go get the board. He wants
No,
to see
I'm not
you get
getting.
this out.
No, I'm not messing with that. Keith would know. Keith is my cousin. Actually,
Hey,
we
all
grew up
right.
together. It's awesome. Thanks for listening, bro. But yeah, we don't mess with ghost stuff.
Keith knows. You're from Connecticut. Go get the Ouija board and let's ask some
Which
questions.
is exactly why we don't. Have you heard of a haunting in Connecticut? There's a reason we don't mess with hauntings.
Go get it. Turn off the lights. Put on a candle. Light that candle next to the Jose Cuervo.
Nope. Negative.
It'll be fun.
And Kathleen, by the way, everyone says way to go, John, because you're a total babe.
That's a man's wife, you bastard.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everyone should be told that, right?
You do mess with that, Keith. You mess with it. You get that board.
No.
You ask serious questions of the ghost. You're like, listen, when are you gonna start paying rent? One.
Listen, well, no. Okay, that's definitely not gonna happen. No. When are you gonna start paying rent? Yeah, actually, well, maybe I'll ask them if they can fix my dryer. That would be rad. If we have a useful ghost, okay. Well, if we have a maintenance ghost, this might become useful.
We just got to ask them, what setting would they want their sheets on?
Fair.
So I went there.
Yep.
You gotta crack the smile, you bastard. You get a new friend, and all of a sudden, I'm not funny anymore.
You're hilarious. I just couldn't tell if you were going with a KKK joke or if you were trying to make
no,
it. Like,
God, no. A ghost joke. We were literally just talking about a ghost.
Just saying, man. I mean, it seemed kind of messed up, bro.
I would not make a joke about KKK. I will make a joke of the KKK.
There we go. That's it.
Boom. That's how this works. Bastards. Anyway, first topic. Because
all right, so 23 minutes in, we're going to get to a topic. I promise. See, this is why when you say let's start talking and see, hey, how's your week going? It's inevitably going to blow up.
Well, I was originally going to talk about the Moon Knight trailer and maybe show it, but I'm not going to show it now because we've been going on for so long. So I'm just going to talk about. I watched the Moon Knight trailer. Everybody should go check it out. It looks really good.
Agreed.
Now, I don't know. Growing up, I didn't read Moon Knight. He wasn't one of my mainstays. I only read Moon Knight when he teamed up.
Yeah, I only read Moon Knight when he was with Darkwing. Or Darkhawk.
Yeah,
Darkhawk. I love Darkhawk.
When it got to a point where, and again, I didn't know much. I knew he had multiple personality disorder. I knew it was based on, I thought it was ancient Egypt, but I didn't know really the lore. But I am excited for the show because I do think the character is cool. He's a little all over the place. It's hard to pay attention to, but I am excited to see what they do with this. But it got me.
So for Oscar Isaac to see how he handles that and how he plays that. He's such a good actor and he's so dynamic. It'll be a lot of fun to see how he comes out with that.
So good. But that got me thinking because it's like, I remember when Moon Knight from when he would team up and stuff. And then I remembered Marvel team ups. The old series that I know we both read back in the day. And it got me thinking, I'm like, when I was a kid, most of the Marvel team-ups were my introduction to other superheroes.
Yeah, it was the same way. It was always Spider-Man and.
Yeah, because it was Marvel team-up for like years, but it was still just Spider-Man basically every week. Sometimes it did two completely different heroes, but for the most part, it was Spider-Man. I was like, dude, this dude's putting in a lot of work.
Spider-Man. Then you get a random, then out of nowhere, you'll randomly have like Dazzler and Rogue in an episode. And you're like,
yeah. I mean, you would definitely get some weird ones like Iron Man teams up with I don't know, whoever. But like, yeah, so I started thinking about this series, and I'm like, I loved when they did these. I love Spider-Man comics in general. When like Nova would show up, and which he did quite a bit, or Ghost Rider would show up, or even like when Wolverine and Ghost Rider teamed up. Those were events. They were a lot of fun. But the Marvel team ups, it was like always Spider-Man, because they even changed it to Spider-Man team ups for a little while.
Yep.
And then changed it back to Marvel team ups. But it didn't last like, I think it lasted like 7 years, and then everything else was like just a certain amount of books.
Yeah, team ups went on for a while, and then they just started to kind of link all the books, or they would have the 6 series, the little 6 shots, where they would do like the limited runs.
So I thought I'd ask you, like, what were some of your more memorable Marvel team ups?
Well, of course, Spider-Man. It was actually the Spider-Man and Cap is one of the Marvel team ups that I meant to grab it before the show started. I do have one of the comic books. It was one of my favorites. So I still have that one. And actually, it was another one that I really liked was, Dazzler and Black Widow. Oddly, just was a good story because they were sleuthing. I like whenever they have good sleuthing stories and they actually detective stuff that makes sense, that makes you interested in what's happening.
Which is even more special because how do you become a sleuth when you're an international rock star who's famous, and your literal power is making a light,
and she's hanging out with an assassin.
Yeah.
Like, what the shit? So those were fun. I enjoyed that kind of storyline. I was probably also when I was growing up watching Gem. So hence Dazzler had a good run.
That made no sense.
Well, I didn't watch it. It wasn't my choice. I had a younger sister. You got to watch. If I get Silverhawks, then we have to watch Gem.
Oh my God. Gem was, my sister had to watch Gem all the time too. So here we go. So we're way off topic, but I don't care. So my sister started watching Gem, and then, what was it? Smurfs came on. So we had to do like the whole spiel with her.
And Gummy Bears. Because you had to get Gummy Bears in there too.
Gummy Bears I watched because I watched Disney Afternoon. And that started off Disney Afternoon it was DuckTales, then Gummy Bears.
Tailspin.
No. Well, I don't know where it was in Connecticut, but it was WPIX, so it had to be the same.
Yeah.
So it was DuckTales at 3, Gummy Bears at 3:30, Tailspin at 4, and then Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers at 4:30. And then Darkwing Duck took over for that, and then Bonkers, and like there was a few different moves.
Was Bonkers on that? Bonkers swapped in there, right?
Bonkers swapped in for Chip 'n Dale. Darkwing Ducks was a 4:00 show after Tailspin ended.
Why is it when we say all of these, for some reason my mind is making them like gentlemen's clubs?
Because they were.
It kind of sounds like it. Like
they were young gentlemen's clubs.
Like Chippendales, and then you go to Bonkers, and then you follow over
Darkwings,
to Tailspin, and then maybe hang out with Darkwing. It's pretty sweet.
Where were we? Staten Island? What was happening here?
Fire Island in September.
Dude, I'm telling you, like that was some of the best TV.
Mm-hmm.
That Disney Afternoon lineup was legit. And then I forget what happened at like 5:00. So when it became CW, like things started changing like a lot more. I wasn't watching the cartoons as much then, but
that was the big thing. Is I was doing it happened for me too. That's when I got into Charmed really hardcore and started watching all of those shows. It shifted to the CWWB channel. Yeah. I knew a lot of Singing Frog. That's what I got.
We'll see what happens with the CW.
And then Popular. Did you ever watch Popular? That was a great show for a couple seasons. Oh,
I did not watch Gossip Girl, Popular, or any of that stuff.
Yeah, fair. I mean, you're missing out, but that's fine.
I am not. No, I don't. I did not subscribe to.
Did you Veronica Mars? Were you a Veronica Mars guy?
No, it was not. I was not.
Well,
my Kristen Bell introduction came later.
Yeah, your life is clearly bland for a while there, eh?
No, I just went out on Fridays after a while.
What's that like?
Oh, I would know now.
Yeah, no, now it's very different.
Now it's like Fridays, pizza and a movie night, get a little stoned and then go to bed.
Good man.
I don't worry about anything.
Which is annoying though, because I want my TGIF lineup. I thought about bringing that back. Every Friday I have my daughter. I'm thinking about watching an episode the way we used to.
That's
smart. She's almost there.
What you should do is throw her for a loop is like you start it the way it was when it started, like Perfect Strangers and all this jazz, Full House. And then like when you get to like season 3 of Full House, just cut it off. And she's like, well, Dad, I wanted to watch that. And you're just like, well, it's on Tuesdays now.
Yeah, well, it changed, because now we have Family Matters here and Boy Meets World. We have a whole different shtick.
And she's just like, well, can I watch it? Yeah, if you're here on Tuesdays.
Yeah, only on Tuesdays, though, kid. This is how it works.
You have to live and abide by.
Live by the TV Guide rules. That's what I'll put up is like, I'll lay out what they remember. How did they used to do it? Like the month or the week? They did it by the week.
Who?
And then TV Guide, right?
That was each week a new one came out.
Yeah.
And then I love the way they did things, like how they had it lined out, just like that's where the guide got it from.
Mm-hmm.
But the what the hell is the name of that channel?
The channel guide, the guide channel, TV Guide channel.
This is fucking Christ.
It's literally, we're talking about the TV Guide. It's the TV Guide channel. You just add channel to the end.
God damn it! All right, so that's what it was. And I like the regular TV Guide because the regular TV Guide you could just go into. First of all, had great illustrated artwork.
Oh yeah, it was
for
fantastic.
TV shows and shit. It was perfect like size. And then you could like read up, like it would give like little ratings and shit like that, and like little like this is what this episode is about. And, like it was perfect. Everything about it was perfect.
It was wonderful, and there was nothing better than reaching into like the side pocket of either your grandfather's or one of your parents' armchairs, and they're always pulling that out and always having one at the ready.
And that shit was always new. You could pull out anything in that side pocket, and it was old as fuck. But that TV Guide was brand new for that week.
That the hunting and fishing was like 30 years old. The Nat Geo was a good 20 years old. But
how to clean your fucking Colt Peacemaker, like that fucking, because that's how old it was, and it was old brittle nickel paperback. But then that TV Guide was brand new.
Or you pull out the remote that hasn't worked for the chair for like ever since they got it. Like it worked once to massage, now it's nothing.
There were houses I was in where nothing in that house was brand new, and I could go there every day, and nothing in that house, even the food, was older than the TV Guide every week. I don't know how it worked, but it's just like houses were like that, and that TV Guide was brandy fucking new. It always came, and everybody seemed to get it in the mail.
Everyone received TV Guide. It was important to get TV Guide. There were crossword puzzles at the end. It was awesome.
But TV Guide had this thing where people got it in the mail. If you ran the household, you got it in the mail. But if anybody else lived in that household with you, if you wanted to use the TV Guide, you had to go out and buy one because the person who got it in the mail wasn't letting you touch it.
Nope. Well, there might be special edition ones too that would show up in the mail.
Oh my God, those things were insane back then. Who's on the cover of TV? Who's on the cover of TV Guide and who's on the cover of Playboy were the only things you gave a shit about. Now they talk about Time Magazine and People and all that.
Well, National Enquirer. I did have a family member who, whenever we stopped, we did road trips every summer. And whenever we stopped, she had to grab the National Enquirer and like Star or whatever the other magazine was. And she
no. People,
like those.
People got those magazines. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. They all existed and people got them, like Sports Illustrated. Stuff like that. Yep. I mean, people cared about who was on the cover.
Yeah, but when you come to, you're right. When it comes down to my adolescence that I recall, I can only speak for myself. It was TV Guide and Playboy. Who's on the TV Guide and who's on the Playboy? Those were the biggest news stories you'd get.
Because sometimes you get that celebrity in Playboy and you're like, game on. And you were never going to see it because we were kids. Like, how were we going to get, our Playboys were like 9 years old.
Please, that, man. I was getting stuff from like 1972. Like, I don't even know who this actress is, but all right, cool.
Very fair. Very
friends
very
of a friends of a friends of a friends, where half the thing doesn't open anymore. It's just permanently stuck together, and it's like, well, the cover looks great.
Oh my God, we got a few comments here. Since we're getting off topic, let's enjoy them. The furniture looked new, though. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Don't even give me that, because even under the plastic, there was smoke getting under that plastic. No, it didn't.
Yeah, no, cigarette smoking house was the worst.
What house in the 80s, even covered in plastic, did the furniture look new? We had new furniture in the 80s, and that shit still looked old.
Yeah, we had a set of brown furniture that somehow looked like it
The
was
flower
old
pattern
the whole time.
brown furniture.
Yep.
With the wood handles and like, yeah, it was, that stuff looked like it was way out of its time in the 80s, and that was everywhere.
Which is what I'm actually looking for. If anyone has any, I'm looking for that. That's what I'm shopping for.
And how dare you, John? Nobody burned the TV Guide. The TV Guide was a sacred Bible amongst TV lovers. Radar says, I used to pick up a Weekly World News because the stuff they came up with was hilarious.
That boy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get the other things. I'm not saying people, like, we got the newspaper, we got a bunch of magazines. AJ, my brother, had a huge subscription to Sports Illustrated. That's how it became like Rain Man of sports. Like, he knew all the statistics because that's all he did was read those from back to front. But TV Guide was sacred.
TV Guide was a huge deal.
Or what was on Power
Yeah.
Mag. That was more us, though. That was more kids.
Just saying what was on the Nintendo Power Mag. No, that's 100%. That was what he and I used to do. We literally would be hanging out and like we played Super Mario 3 was one of my favorite memories of that, where we're just going through like, how do we beat the level? What's the next part? Where do we find everything? And it became that completionist thing, or doing that with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I'm pretty sure we had at least one fist fight over. Like, I feel like we had to have gotten at least one over that game.
I'm not. Neither of you won.
Oh no. No.
Yeah.
We didn't actually start having like fun hanging out until it was like Nintendo 64 and it was golden.
No, I know. I don't care about the fight. Neither of you won the Ninja Turtles game. I don't want to hear it. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody has ever won that game.
The Niagara Falls power level is totally beatable. It is beatable.
No one ever beat that game. It's never beatable. Happened. It's not beatable.
Because it sent you right back to the beginning.
That and Sega Genesis Lion King and Aladdin were unbeatable.
Dude, yeah, I had the Game Gear Aladdin. That thing was terrifying.
Oh, Keith, get in a fight with him now because he knows it's been proven.
No,
it's unwinnable.
Totally unwinnable.
The sewer jump still haunts him. He says. It does.
True.
Oh, shit. Did I tell you what I saw in Walmart the other day?
Not with that reaction.
Oh, my God. You'll love this. Okay. So here I am. All right. I'm going to set the tone for you. We're not even fucking topics tonight. So here I am in Walmart looking at Pops because that's what I do. And there's nothing really there. That's when I got the Spock Pop. And then I hear some music right in my ear, but it says The Simpsons, but it's a different type of tone. It's like an 8-bit sound. And I turn around and there it is. It's the 4-panel arcade game. Now, granted, they're smaller than they were, but that's because they're for at-home use now. Mm-hmm. The Simpsons game. And right next to it was Pac-Man, which fine, whatever, that's cool. But the Simpsons game was there. And I played that game for like 20 minutes.
Nice.
And all I kept saying to myself is, I love that this exists. I would drop the $500 right now if it were one of two other games.
Ninja Turtles?
Turtles in Time, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the X-Men game.
Well, the X-Men game is number one.
Yeah,
that's
my number one too.
Yeah, at the Cove Bowling Alley, man, that game was the freaking spot. I think I made friends there. You know, I lost friends there. It was that was a serious game, bro.
Oh,
like, a lot going on. And then I would go to the Springfield Mall to go visit whenever I was visiting Dad, and we were going different areas, Springfield here in Virginia. And yeah, they had that huge arcade in there, and always the X-Men game, straight to the X-Men game.
It was the best, man. Nightcrawler was, of course, always like number one choice, but
yeah,
Nightcrawler Colossus was pretty rad.
Colossus was amazing. There's nothing like smashing them and throwing them, man.
When he would like freak out.
And of course, everyone took Wolverine.
Everyone took Wolverine because they thought he was Wolverine from the comics, but he wasn't.
No, Jean Grey was better. She was awesome.
Cyclops was pretty good.
Cyclops was awesome. He was my dude.
Nightcrawler with that teleportation that was key.
Absolutely true. They actually have those. We are not beholden to anyone, but there is a current sale going on those 1-up machines.
Where?
On the onlines. Where I was seeing stuff up to like $300 to $400 off, bro. So.
Oh man, you gotta give me that.
yeah, we definitely might want to look into that.
Tekken was awesome. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tekken was so great.
That would be a good one too. But you can, I feel like you can find Tekken on actual, like, I mean, it would be great to play in an arcade, but like if I'm gonna spend, like, I'm gonna drop like $500, I'm going back. I want X-Men or I want Turtles in Time. That's like it. Like, because I can play Street Fighter on a console. I can play like Tekken on a console.
I would grab I don't know if you ever had these, the ones that were like the Atari games ones where they'd have like 15 games in one. So you'd have like 1942 and Galaga and Space Invaders and everything in one machine. Those are the ones I would get because I love all of those games. And those are the ones I could sit there and just keep playing. You just put tunes on and play a couple rounds. And at least there's a logical ending. It's not like you get into an RPG or one of these games nowadays where it's like, oh, 17 hours went by. What happened?
Yeah. It finishes out and you're like, okay, I can walk away from this. They do make Turtles in Time, Radar says, so that's cool. All right. So we've been talking a lot about our childhood. It's a big surprise. But I did want to talk about, we are big Buffy fans, Angel fans, Firefly fans.
Yeah, man. I was afraid we were going to get into this. All right. I was really hoping if I just kept talking about other name shit, we would never get to this topic because this is a hard topic. But you're right. Let's do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go.
So Joss Whedon, who we always looked at as like the geek king for the longest time, you know, we bought into the hype of like the feminism and how he's all about empowering women, but he's also like just a great writer and this, that, and the other. I have been learning more and more by reading these articles, right?
Same.
So, and he just so basically, let me give you some background for whoever's watching and listening. Joss Whedon has had a lot of accusations come out against him in recent years. It started about 5 years ago when his wife penned an op-ed piece about their marriage and kind of who he was during their marriage. And after that, other things started to come out. One of the big ones was Charisma Carpenter for the past 10 years has been very outspoken about how she's been treated, and she felt.
I mean, she got screwed out of Angel hardcore, and he was a dick about it. I mean, that was kind of known, you know, because she got pregnant, and he was a complete shithead to her about it. So, yeah.
And more people who have worked with him closely have come out and said, especially women, have come out and said he's been this way, he's acted this way, have cooperated with his wife on the cheating that he did while he was making Buffy. Like, I guess, they're unnamed actresses, but I guess he was having an affair with two of the actresses on that show. So, like, lots of stuff coming out. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because we are such big fans of his stuff. Now, we can get into the conversation of can you separate the monster from the art? That's not what this is. Our thing is, with even the most recent, like Gal Gadot, who was very outspoken about like her, you know, the things that went on when she was working in Justice League, and Ray Fisher coming out about all the abuse that he, you know, did deal with Joss Whedon. The reason this is coming into the context of why it's coming into play now is finally Joss Whedon came out and rebuted a lot of this. Now, I have read, and I know Casey said he has as well, read the article that Joss did where he kind of came out and he spoke out against it. And I got to tell you, just from my initial feelings of it and reading exactly the things he was saying and quoted as saying and how the article was written, first to me, the first things I take away from it were it felt like it was written by somebody who was maybe more in his corner than like objective to everything.
I mean, I could see that. I could see that he was getting maybe a little push in a positive, more positive light.
And somebody who would actually write what he's saying.
Yeah.
As opposed to what's going down from their perspective.
I think it comes across as very, I mean, Joss Whedon, out of touch, seems very elitist, very much so. He's focused on his work, and the way he does his work is the only way the work needs to be done and will be done. And the only way it'll be done well.
Yeah.
Is if he doesn't, and then it's going to be done right. And I've heard and read and seen a lot of stuff from a lot of different people who have come to his support and people who have been completely against him. Obviously, very outspoken. Charisma Carpenter, I think, has one of the best, really poignant points of him being bad and awful to her. I think he's I think we can both say I love his characters. We both love his characters. I've been a fan of his writing. I always enjoyed what he put on screen. I don't think it's necessarily a matter of having to break up with someone. I think it's the same thing as you just have to accept that this isn't a great person. I don't need to support him as a person anymore, or if he's going to even get anything further from here, you know?
Well, it goes back to, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, like, for me, going forward with everything that was said, everything that is, when it comes to a breakup, is like, do you break clean from who Joss Whedon is? If he creates any more, do you go with it?
I'm not going to do it the way I did. I went into Dollhouse full on Joss Whedon. Yeah, everything Joss does is amazing. Like, I was that guy. Now I couldn't be more the opposite. I don't want to see Joss Whedon's name attached to things anymore. I've gotten what I want out of Joss Whedon. He gave me some wonderful characters and a lot of cool stories, and I will continue to watch those flourish because they weren't all him. You know what I'm saying? There were other parts that created that. Sarah Michelle Gellar's portrayal of Buffy is part of what I love about Buffy. So there's already that separation. You know, Nathan Fillion as Mal Reynolds, that's more what I want. I don't need to have that in the future from Joss Whedon. I think the more he breaks from everything, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to support the man anymore. I've read enough. I'm aware of enough, and that's just where I stand.
And is that how you feel about most of those cases? Like, when you start reading and you become informed about it, do you walk away from future things? Like, are you still listening to Ignition, the remix of Ignition?
No, God,
Tell
no.
me right
I'm
now.
fresh out the kitchen. No, I know everything R. Kelly completely. Like, I went hard on him a couple years ago when I watched that documentary special. And plus, we'd already known some stuff, but I never researched and never learned. But to find out what he did to Aaliyah and the way he treated all these other women and all these other young women, and like just it's deplorable. So absolutely not. I heard. Actually, R. Kelly was playing at a store I was in the other day, and I went to the person who I happened to know was working there, and I was like, could you please make sure that this is never on one of your playlists again? Like, you can't be listening to that, you know?
So now when you listen to Bump and Grind, who do you think about?
I don't listen to Bump and Grind anymore. which is like a bummer. So I just need someone to remake Bump and Grind. And then I'll listen to Bump and Grind again.
I think the problem with most people is they're so upset about losing something from, like, an R. Kelly, and they don't realize that there's still Keith Sweat. He's still out there.
Who was terrible.
You shut your goddamn mouth.
No, look, as an artist, Keith Sweat's amazing, but he also proliferates and uses young women and twists and makes money off of them and steps on them in his career. I'm not saying that he is as abusive or that he goes after women the way that R. Kelly does. I'm not equating the two. All right. Let's just be very fucking clear. But Keith Sweat is also one of those people who, you know, he goes to.
I'm going to have to read up on those allegations. I don't know this.
It's true, man. Well, and it's not allegations to the point where they were like abused or anything. I'm saying they were used, like Berry Gordy used people in Motown. Okay. It's similar to that. All right. If that makes more sense. So that's
Berry Gordy, the guy who just won a Kennedy Center honor.
Yep. That's him, man. Look, he still gets all the honors, but he still stole from all those artists.
Yeah, fair. Makes it hard to watch Space Jam again, the radar says.
No, it does. I mean, that song coming out, seeing R. Kelly, I just don't like it. I'm not a fan. I don't want that. That's what canceling is. It's removing those things that are legitimate. Hey, this was an abusive piece of trash who, in my opinion, might be responsible for someone's deaths, but definitely responsible for hurting other people. And that's the more important thing. He hurt people. Same thing with Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon fucking hurt people. Okay. I'm not saying that it wasn't part of his process or that he might not just be a hard ass director. You can't fucking hurt people in your career, continue to gain success and continue to move forward by hurting people.
Mm-hmm. Why do you, so do you think in a situation like that, not the definitive answer here, but do you think he should be canceled in a situation like that?
I think that when it comes to the situation of the canceling, I think if some studio decides to pay him to make a movie, so be it. I will not support that movie. That's all. That's all there
Okay.
is to it. Everyone has a
That's fair.
right to do whatever the hell they're going to do. I am never going to support him in future again
That's fair.
in that way. And I won't be buying stuff that has products and stuff that has his name associated.
Well, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because months ago I had Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, on, a horror host here out in Pennsylvania area. So go check her out. And we were talking about the what's her name, J.K. Rowling, and she's been very outspoken because she's trans. So, and everything that J.K. Rowling had been saying, and I asked, I was like, listen, my son is a Harry Potter fan. Like, what do I do? Like, how can I be an ally but not tell my 9-year-old you're not allowed to read Harry Potter? And the way she put it was perfect. She was just like, go buy the books from a secondhand bookstore. She goes, don't put the money in J.K. Rowling's pocket.
Exactly.
And I got that, and I was like, okay, that makes me feel better. Like, okay, like, because she said you can enjoy it, but you gotta be aware of what it is too.
Right. I mean, there's also a reason I don't watch that stupid Shakespeare. Roman Polanski. There's another guy. There's someone I don't need to watch his movies or give him any money or support him at all.
I know it's so hard to not watch Chinatown though. That movie is perfect.
Sorry, no, I'm out. I'm done. Look, man, it was one thing to hear about it. Second thing to find out, I thought it was kind of a joke thing. And then you find out the sheer numbers and amount of which it was happening. And it's like, that's disgusting.
You know what they should do to really punish them is all these musicians, let's say the musicians in the movies, make all of their content that they've made public domain. Because now it can be remade for free. And I will tell you right now, the lead-in song is Remix to Ignition, the Scene Snobs, as sung by anyone else.
Anyone else. Yeah, exactly. As long as no one ever gets those royalties, as long as that man never sees a dime of it, sure. Fine with it.
I mean, honestly though, like I think a lot about that stuff and kind of where it goes, where it comes from. And I think there is still wiggle room. And the reason I say that is like, am I going to go out and am I going to buy the Buffy DVDs? No, because I own them. One.
Yeah, I was going to say you should have them. That's the same thing with me and the Angel DVDs. I already have them.
Yeah, there's nothing I really need to put the money towards for him. But like, what about remade properties? So like they're remaking Firefly. What if they remake Buffy or remake Angel or whatever? But his name is still on it as a creator. Do you still think it's okay to kind of continue on with that?
No, I mean, he is the creator. He created that.
Well, he created those characters, so it's almost like
I mean, that's what I'm saying is I can accept that he created those, and I am just not supporting Joss Whedon. Does that make sense? There are things that I love that he created, but that doesn't mean I'm going to love the creator.
No, I mean remake properties in the future.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Go ahead.
But what if money goes into his pocket?
Unfortunately, it's going to. That's just the way it works.
Okay. All right.
Listen,
there's no judgment here.
There's an acceptable level of it's the way the system works. So either you don't buy into the system or you do, or do you become a pirate?
I'm not, but here's the thing, like I'm not I don't stand on the principle of the art, because like if you really want to separate all of the art that has been made by monsters, we have almost nothing left, except the Scene Snobs podcast. But we almost have nothing.
We're totally clear here.
I mean, knock on wood, that down the line, Casey doesn't do anything.
Right? Well, but what do we really know about the life of Johannes Vermeer? What do we know about the story of Goya and his ghost? What do we know about all these other different artists, Picasso, and how tortured and tormented and changed and different they were? And yet, Beethoven,
I don't give a fuck. Picasso had a fucking anteater as a pet, and nobody has that shit unless they are weird and have done weird things. You're never going to convince me otherwise.
Or Dali, Salvador Dali. He was a crazy human. I mean, all of them, most of them were what? Drunks, probably addicted to some sort of drugs, all jacked up on stuff. Mercury poisoning, who knows? I mean, back in those days.
Yeah, everybody.
Hemingway. Look, Kathleen mentioned it. I have to say it. Bringing up Hemingway. The man was an abusive drunk who literally just womanized. He was pretty much a piece of garbage. He hunted out the lions out in Africa. He was a dick.
He was almost worse than Teddy Roosevelt.
You back off, Teddy Roosevelt. Don't get to mess with the Rough Rider, bro.
You love your Teddy Roosevelt.
Darn tootin'. He was a hero. Hemingway was a jackass who just wrote. Now, will I still buy Hemingway books? Of course, they're fantastic stories. Everyone needs to read Old Man and the Sea. I'm gonna absolutely make my daughter read it, which because you have to make kids read things. They won't just fucking sit down and read it. But
Paul says all that will be left is us and Bloody Summer Camp. And
yeah, seriously, that's what we got.
He made Go Away too, so I mean that's interesting.
Sweet.
I think before we move on anywhere, I think that it comes down to what are you like, if you're willing to stand on principle to make yourself a better person, that has to come with I'm not going to judge anyone else. I'll let somebody else do that. So like in the case of R. Kelly, if the remix of Ignition comes on the car radio, I'm probably going to listen to it.
Of course.
Am I going to get weird faces? Probably. But you know what? I don't care about the guy. He can go to prison for the rest of his life. If they deem him guilty, which they did. So like, but I can't stand on that principle anymore. I got enough principles to make myself a better person. I can't stand on the principles to like stay away from everyone.
Well, no, you're never going to stay away from everyone. And honestly, how many things do we buy every day that we don't know who the fuck is making our bread? We don't know who's making the things that we continue to use daily. They could be awful people as well. So you do have to make that separate the art from the artist. You do have to make that decision for yourself as to what your extreme is. What is your level of comfort with it? You know, and everyone makes that decision for themselves, and then they just do it. You're not going to judge anybody. We don't judge. That's definitely not what we do here. Well, I'm in no position to judge.
I judge you for not liking R. Kelly.
You can judge me for that all day. I don't
give a shit.
Believe me, it's on the scale of shit I got to worry about. It's pretty fucking low. So
R. Kelly should be low on that scale.
Yeah, pretty low. So I don't believe that anything going forward should hurt an entire cast. Does that make sense?
No.
We should not look at the sins of Joss Whedon and then go, well, fuck Angel and Firefly. I don't think that's logical. That's not doing anything.
No,
you know what I mean? That's not moving anything forward. That's just insulting other people who weren't a part of it, or insulting the people who were victimized, who powered through and did something like this and gave us the art that they gave us. How about that? How about the wonderful performances we got and the stories that were created by people who were being fucking hollered at by this monster? So,
and he gave us the Justice League, so fuck him.
God damn it, that was awful.
So all right. Well, with that being said,
why would you even bring that up?
Casey is breaking up with Joss Whedon, and I'm right there with them.
Yeah, man. I guess I am. I guess it's been a lot of fun, but we just have to go our separate ways. And look, it's not me. It's you.
It is you. So 100%.
100% you. This is all on you. You did this. You hurt me. You gave me so many things I love, and then you had the audacity to rip them away from me with your shitty attitude and the way you can't treat people, and then have an article written where you can't even be honest and admit fault with something and call people bad actors and insulting them, you elitist fucking prick. No, we're done. I'm glad we came to a public place because we have to do it here. Otherwise you would have made a scene. I know how you get.
You literally are trying to gaslight anybody reading this article.
That's what it is. He's trying to gaslight people while writing an article. It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, things that he said in that article, the way he said things are textbook gaslighting. You know, like the Charisma Carpenter thing where he's like, oh, I don't recall saying those things, but sometimes people mess up lines, but nobody could deliver a punchline like Charisma. And it's like, you're trying to gaslight everybody who's reading this article into thinking, oh, you didn't really do anything. Like she's making it up. Like, shut up.
Yeah, no, we all know. Look, big fans of Angel over here. We know what you fucking did, Joss. You were a dick and you wrote out and ruined an entire season because what? Because you had to fucking prove your point. Because your art, fucking douche. So, yeah, we're done. Just grab your shit, get out.
Radar, we know he made the Avengers.
Yeah, I know, Radar.
Kevin Feige and Jon Favreau were on board with that. That's why it's as good as it is.
And-
But look at it. He directed the Avengers and Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron, as much as I like it, is not as good as the Avengers. And then after that, it got way better. When the Russos stepped in.
The Russos are amazing. Yeah, the Russos really stepped it up.
So, and speaking of the MCU, we're going to finish off tonight. We're continuing our phase 1. We're not going to do it next week. Next week, we're going to take a little break, and then we'll come back strong. We're going to probably get into religion and stuff like that in the MCU. But tonight, we talked about all the air regulations last week and the tourism. I want to talk about the insurance industry within the world of the MCU and how fucked the insurance industry is. Because let's put it this way. We both pay car insurance, right?
Yeah.
I pay renter's insurance.
As do I.
Yeah. So it's there if we need it. Of course. That's how they always play it up. But we pay premiums like a motherfucker. They're expensive. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to worry about the sky falling because some robot has decided, hey, I'm going to create a comet today.
Yeah, really changes the idea of act of God when it's literally the god of thunder that is like throwing cars on your car. Mm-hmm. And then that's how do you claim that? So insurance companies, man, yeah, they get the shaft. It's pretty hard because you've got not only just everyday people, right, who have to deal with our insurance, our car insurance, our renter's insurance. We also have to worry about medical insurance, bro. Don't forget about medical insurance is huge. Then also, if you're a company, now you have liability. Now you have to deal with, how do you deal with commercial property insurance? If things break in your area, on your building.
Think about this. All right. What's an act of God? Is an act of God Thor?
Yes. And that's the problem is you have to change that now because now an act of God cannot be a write-off as a reason the company can't pay out. It has to be a line item that you have to pay for, like volcano insurance.
But okay, but no, what if they treat everything Thor does like, okay, this is an act of God, and they take it literal and they're like, okay, he's a god. We all say he's a god. This is an act of God. Now, what constitutes a god? There has to be guidelines that are in there. Is Captain Rogers a god?
Well, maybe you would have a supers line instead.
You'd have to create something. You'd have to create a claims adjustment department for superhero acts.
Absolutely. Which is going to be great. So like the Hartford is going to get a whole new slew of like 150 new positions just to drive around because the Hulk decided to fall out of the sky or jump and land on some puebla in, freaking Mexico. So now they've got to go pay for that.
Now, okay, but think about this too. All right. Where do the businesses go? All of these insurance premiums going up for every business. Let's just think about the insurance on business. How is New York City the Mecca still? How are people not moving to Montana or Wyoming where these gods aren't fighting?
Well, after the Chitauri, I think they did. I think we see that. We had to get through that first initial invasion, and now we're past that, so now it's different.
Well, not really, because the Ultron bots, because now they're international.
Oh, yeah, because Sokovia. Like, imagine who's paying out those life insurance policies for Sokovia. Woo!
Who's paying out the life
the amount of money? Like, that's gonna take MetLife and just they're done. They do payouts on that. That's the company.
Think about it. We're talking about just insurance right now. Wait till we get to healthcare.
Oh yeah.
Now we haven't even
on the healthcare yet. This is just insurance. This is straight Aflac. Oh man, Aflac doesn't exist. There's probably 40 versions of Aflac. There's got to be some sort of upgrade, and they've got to change that.
Because how do you keep? I can't even imagine Stark Industries and the amount of just litigation that's against that company. And then they're still the richest company of all time. It's
with that much liability. I mean, they've clearly sold weapons and had weapons land. Let's not even talk about the Jericho testing. Let's talk about just the weapons that are in the hands of militias, anywhere else that stuff has fallen, the different terrorist organizations. Like, that's a lot of liability, man.
I'm just talking about he created Ultron. That has to lie with him.
Yeah, that's the liability again. That's all stuff that falls back to you. So I mean, so Pepper Potts, basically what we're learning is that most of her paperwork is based in insurance.
Yeah, well, think about this too. Iron Man 2. It's the Stark Expo. And now it invites inventors from all around and companies from all around to show off their work, but it's Stark Expo. He puts it on. When it is attacked by Justin Hammer's robots, yes, he's liable. But how much is Stark liable for all of the damage that's being created and chaos that's being created?
Stark's technically liable if someone spills coffee on their lap that's too hot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge deal. So they probably have waivers out the butthole. I imagine that their legal department has got to be huge.
But how do you, as a company, justify having anybody come anywhere? At this point, everything should be virtual, especially
it's got to be remote. There's no way you can actually, after Stark Expo gets blown up by Justin Hammer, I think that's it. Like the Sokovia, after the Sokovia incident, I mean, why are you going outside? If you could just order it at home, order it at home.
Well, I think 2020 and 2021 has proven there's going to be a fair share that still want to go.
I mean, fair. Yeah. That's yeah, I get that.
I mean, I'm at the point where it's kind of like, I mean, if there could be murder bots that murder me, I'm not going. If it could be, if it's a possibility, I'm not going.
But if it's a possibility that I see like Iron Man flying around or some power armor suit, heck yeah, man.
No, because that's the possibility that throws up. That's when the probability goes through the roof is when Iron Man shows up.
What about the probability or the possibility if you're just hanging out at a football game and all of a sudden Thor comes flying in, or you have, I don't know, the Green Goblin swoop through and blow up part of your stadium? Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that is true.
It could happen anywhere. So do you just stop doing any events?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, 100% I do. Not because I'm old and curmudgeon-y, but because Iron Man may get me killed. But we've seen Iron Man in situations where like his fights and the things that go on with him span a wide area. Like at least like Steve Rogers in the first Avengers was trying to keep it quarantined to an area. You know, like
Iron Man 3 when they take out a shipyard.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like straight up, like that's Seaport. You're not getting toilet paper for 7 years.
Look, if we saw the struggles we went through, imagine how bad that Seaport was. Where was that? Was that San Francisco?
It was in Los Angeles.
Oh, it was Los Angeles. I mean, that's terrifying. That took out a whole chunk of it. And who's going to be responsible too? Because you have AIM, who is on one side of it with Cillian Murphy or Cillian, whatever his name is, but then you have the Killian. But then you have the other side where it's still Stark with all of his power armor there blowing stuff up.
You know why it's Stark? Because Killian died. So you can divvy up his money from his company however you want, and that's fine. But I'm sure he doesn't have Stark money, and let's face facts. People want to be litigious, and they're going after the deep pockets.
It's true.
And you just blew up your suits there, Iron Man.
Yeah, you're suing Stark hard.
Yeah.
I mean, the lawsuits alone are outrageous, but just trying to stay up on top of your insurance premiums. What do you think a premium for a company like Star Trek or Stark is? Like $4 million?
No, I think that's lowballing it.
You think so?
I think they're getting to like the 400 million. They're like, listen, dude,
for a monthly premium.
Yeah, because they're not wrong because they're like, listen, wherever you go, a city blows up.
Unless you have Stark Insurance Company.
Like that's why I think Infinity War they were like, let's just take it to Wakanda because we literally can't do this anywhere else anymore.
Nah, they've been blowing up everything else.
And we saw in the Black Panther movie that Wakanda actually has a city. There's a city there.
Yeah.
And it went nowhere near that city.
No, they were able to stay out in the fields. They were able to stay way far away.
Oh my God, it worked so well.
Just showing the wisdom of T'Challa again. He's like, why would we break our shit? That's why we have this giant open field.
And why they didn't go back to Wakanda in the beginning or at the end of Endgame when they got all the stones again and it was just like, are we going to do this in Wakanda? Because obviously nothing bad can happen here.
Well, they couldn't. They had to go upstate New York, which, Schenectady area. There's not a lot of people up there. So
But I mean, I'm fairly certain when they broke that dam, it flooded a lot of homes.
But well, that's possible. Now, is that technically an act of God? It's an act of Thanos.
No, there's got to be an alien clause now.
Well,
There's an
yeah. So
alien
we're
clause
gonna have an
in there.
alien clause. Are we gonna have a magician, a magic clause?
Well, what does your insurance look like if you buy a house near the Avengers compound?
I don't know if it would be affordable. I feel like you'd basically be buying two houses.
Well, I'm not talking about me. I'm not actually be able to afford the house, but I'm saying
No,
like
I understand.
somebody.
This is hypothetical. You don't have to know and stop me. Let's yes and a little bit.
If
Oh,
I'm
bro,
one of
thanks.
the
Appreciate you.
if I'm one of the billionaires in the MCU because they have
Mhm.
so many of them, and I bought a house near the Avengers compound just because it's a nice lake, nice relaxing little lake.
Able to get some fishing in.
I can't even imagine my monthly insurance.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're buying two houses. You have to afford a house, and then
Oh,
your
that's what you were
insurance is
saying.
going to be the same amount as the house you just
I
bought.
I thought you were saying no. I thought you were calling me poor. Like, no, you can't afford two houses. You turn that mug. You turn that mug and you smile. You know my face is on it. Don't you dare put that handle
Which one?
out.
Wait, that one?
That one?
That one
That's
or that
CCF,
one?
CFF.
That one? That one? That one?
That one.
Or
Which one
that
was that
one?
one? That was
That
when we
one?
were at the theater together. Yep.
Yeah, that was the Joe Bob. That
Oh,
was
yep.
the the Army of Darkness
Nice.
double
Yeah, that was a
feature,
double feature.
and then that was Carolina Fear Fest.
Yes, it was. Let's see what some of the comments say because I've been jumping on this. Act of God clauses suddenly got a lot more real when Thor and Loki were walking around. And how do you file a claim about Hulk throwing your car? He was
Right.
green. Alien invasion wasn't covered on my policy. It is now. After
You
New
have
York,
to. That's got to be a rider. You've got to have so many different riders for every
if you
special.
live, I feel like that's a must part of the insurance that you have to buy if you live in a certain area.
Yo, agreed. I mean, like your renter's insurance. If you're in New York City, you have to have window insurance. It's like they start itemizing everything all the way through.
So I can imagine when it gets to acts of God byline, I would ask your religion. Yeah, you kind of got to get. Which religion do you believe in? The one that the hammer falls through my roof.
Yeah, that's what I believe in. I believe in that Norse shit because I've seen it.
So does it mean Superman is off the hook because he's an alien, not a god? No, you have to have an alien clause. We have so there's think about the MCU and insurance. There's an alien clause. There's a god clause.
Yep.
There's a monster clause.
Yep.
There's a superhero clause.
Magic. Gotta have a magic.
Clause. There's wizards running around. Like, come on.
You have to have celestial being clause. Something that shows up and is the size of the fucking planet.
Who is on the hook if a superhero gets thrown through a window and a sky rise and the glass falls on somebody?
That's whoever owns the building still. That's liability.
That's such bullshit.
But that's what it is, man. It doesn't matter. You decided to own the building that has windows and you didn't double pane the glass. You got to deal with falling glass.
Fucking no, you can't always double pane. Like if Falcon just gets thrown into a window or something and the glass falls, that's not. I feel like there needs to be some.
You're a slumlord. Then is that what you're saying? You're a slumlord.
Maybe.
Can't afford
that's why owning no buildings in the MCU. Is Thor considered a lowercase g god? Insurance only covers no. He's a high. He's one of the high gods.
Oh yeah, he's one of the big ones.
Do you worship the Norse, Greek, ancients, chaos, fear? And then it's only covered. Well, no, because everything exists. So you have to cover it all.
It's all there.
Is being a mutant or other form of superhuman considered a sort of pre-existing condition? Does it increase your premiums? We will get there in the healthcare discussion.
Yeah, and the healthcare one, absolutely. Because I'm saying yes, 1,000%.
Yep. I like what Keith said. It's true.
Nice ball.
I won't be surprised if insurance doesn't cover any of it. Honestly, it has to. You can't not have it, and plus, insurance companies are going to jump on it.
That's the thing. They're going to have the opportunity to be able to make a boatload of money because everybody's going to be required to have it. So you can sign up this alien policy. Let's just say your alien rider. That alone, that byline is what going to be like $1,000 a month if you're in certain areas.
The premium would be based on where you live, like Doom Insurance would be higher depending on how likely it was to evade it. No, that's what like we said earlier. Like if you're living in Nebraska or Montana or Wyoming, like you probably don't need all that insurance. And then it's just a crapshoot. And it's like, okay, I'll opt for the tornado instead of the superhero.
Exactly, right?
Paul,
I'm in a floodplain, but I also have to deal with flying superheroes. Or maybe a hell carrier. What about a hell carrier falling out of the sky?
And they're invisible.
Yeah, and you don't even have shield anymore. It's Sword. So is Sword actually paying because they're not a government-funded freaking
No,
group?
because they're on the moon. They don't give a shit. Paul, makes sense. Insurance companies try to find every possible reason not to pay because they want to increase profits. Yep, absolutely. They should do all their fights in Jersey. It'll look the same.
Exactly. There's already scrap yards. So all they're going to be doing is destroying more scrap. And it'd be great to demolition all of those places, those big empty buildings that no one uses that are just sitting there that are relics of the bygone era when Jersey was profitable and proliferating and prosperous.
I see you, Paul. I see you.
Love you, Paul.
Bastard. Okay. Well, now that I hate Paul, we're going to move on. No,
I think it's great, though. You can definitely use that as a record thing. Like, it's a brilliant idea.
Fair. I will say this: insurance has to be a fucking nightmare in the MCU. Something that makes me glad that I don't live in the MCU. Can
you imagine being an insurance agent? Like how many they have to have like fleets of vehicles to go out to be able to handle everything. So yeah, with the amount of riders and the extra insurance you can add in there, and the fact that they're probably going to be paying out the nose a lot, trying to read every portion of the contract is going to be difficult.
You can't. You would need to hire a lawyer just to read the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Dunn says he loves me, but you don't love Jersey. And that's where my problem was.
No, we all love Jersey.
You shut your mouth. Don't you say it.
What? You're not supposed to make fun of, the special ones like Jersey. Jersey's our special state.
Amazon insurance. Amazon would 100% open up insurance.
Yes, Amazon insurance would be the big thing. In fact, or imagine that PayPal. That's Elon Musk isn't making money doing Tesla. He's making money with insurance companies. He and Jeff Bezos.
Can you imagine if Amazon came up with an insurance company in the MCU world and was just like, all right, if you're a Prime member, we'll cover this, and that. We'll cover Ant-Man insurance.
That's what they would have to do. That would be perfect, too. So instead of an individual rider, you can actually have a tier. So you can be like, I am a platinum hero tier, which means I'm covered for any and all.
I'm a platinum hero tier. That means I live in Stark Tower.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I will tell you, like I said, insurance is a nightmare in the MCU. We've covered another portion of it, and let us hear. I want to know
insurance real quick. Hold on, can you imagine renters insurance in Hell's Kitchen?
Oh well, first of all, renters insurance in Hell's Kitchen. Anyway.
Well, yeah. Currently, it's like in real world IRL people is bad.
It's probably probably pretty rough, but yeah. With Daredevil running around and Kingpin running the city,
your insurance is constantly smashing shit. Imagine the bars, bro. Those poor restaurants. They're always getting jacked up.
And especially anyone Spider-Man's in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every time.
Cars getting thrown through it and shit. It's like, come on, I'm just trying to run a business here. I'll just hire Daredevil as my attorney, Paul says. He'll know how to handle my insurance. I would hope so. He ain't reading that fine print, I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's messed up. They have Braille.
All right.
Or you could just maybe have the readers. Like maybe he just has it like connected to his Bluetooth and it just reads to him.
Yeah, I know it does. We saw the show. Yeah. God, shut up.
Yeah.
Let me have my hilarious joke.
Nope.
Why? Because I misunderstood your joke earlier, you bastard? Yeah. It was a misunderstanding. It's a literal misunderstanding.
I know, and retribution has never been so sweet.
But I came back afterwards and was like, hey, man, I thought you meant this. Now I realize you meant this. And you bastard.
It didn't break the flow.
Oh, God damn it. Whatever. All right, I'm ending this. All right, so listen, head over to our Discord. If you go on to thescenesnobs.com or linktr or wherever, it's all in the description below. There is a link to our Discord. Join up there And I want to hear what you guys think, or what should we talk about next in terms of this MCU series, or if you have other topic ideas you'd like for us to talk about. But do it over in the Discord so everybody can get involved. Also, you can head over to our Facebook. We now have a Facebook group, the Scene Snobs Movie Club. You can join up there and talk to us about stuff there as well. Yeah, other than that, go check out whatever we got going on over on thescenesnobs.com, and let's have some fun with it.
Yeah, it's so exciting. We can't wait to keep on putting out more content. Super excited to be hammering away for Carolina Fear Fest for the rest of the remaining time until Carolina Fear Fest.
Well, we do have Horrific Hope Film Festival, too, at the end of April. We have the Snobbies at the end of March.
Well, ready for the Snobbies. Super stoked. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
we're starting to get more and more people putting in episodes and stuff, and we're going to get the judges panel together. But thank you all for submitting there and kind of being a part of it. So going forward, we got, like I said, join the Discord. We have all our news and stuff there. This Sunday, I am hosting Sunday Scares over on Twitter. So live tweet along. We're watching 2 horror movies. I'm hosting it. Use hashtag Sunday Scares. We have a good time. It's a good crowd. They invited me in to do it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're watching Hobgoblins at 8 p.m., which is on Tubi. And then we were watching Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Ballorama at 10 p.m.
One of my all-time favorites.
It's a good one, and it's little creature feature night, and so we're gonna have some fun with it. We'll be hosting, so we're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. Make sure to join in. There is no Geek Fest Live on Sunday. I might do one on Monday, but we're figuring that out right now. But because I'm hosting this, no Geek Fest Live Sunday. There's a new mixed movie picks out now. You can go check out more Snowy Day picks. And other than that, we love you.
We love you very much. Thank you so much. Be good to each other, Miss Sasake.
I am not prepared to put on the end credit card, so have a good night again. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original and fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.